Oh yeah, what's up everyone? How you doing? How are you doing? Welcome. Another live stream, another day, another live stream. Good to have you here. And we have news in 1 minute. That is the reason I am live, as mentioned in the morning update, 2:30 p.m. So let's see if anything happens. We do have a lot to talk about on the 1 hour time frame. And also, of course, I got to explain the channel I have on my chart, but also the 1 hour scenarios as price has touched the 618, which invalidates a wave 4. Now, that sounds very complex and stuff, but we're going to talk about that in a second, because the plan of the live stream is first, say hi. Second, check if anything happens in a couple of seconds, by the way. Let's go to the 15-minute. See if we get any action here. Then we go through the analysis, focused on the 1 hour time frame. And then we go into chatting and Q&A. Now, I will be online till about 4 p.m. So 1.5 hours, then I gotta go. So we have enough time for chatting Q&A, answering questions. And yeah, it should be good, no? Should be good. So yeah, good to have you here. Welcome, everyone. What's up, Flotty Mr. Espresso? Jeroen, how you doing? Nirmal, Joel, F Society. What's up, Joel? How you doing, man? Yosphere, Solid Fab, what's up? Did we at last touch the 618? Yes, we did, Carl. Yes, we did. Kali family, man, welcome. KG, how you doing, man, KG? Hope you're doing good also with your studies and trading. Carl, had a nice video earlier today with the channels on the longer time frame. Thank you. Pleasure. Yeah, I know. I gotta make the educational video about channels. But when you make 3 videos a day, right? It's not always easy to also make another educational video, because there's more going on than just making content. So I guess because the weekends are now more patient, more like random with content, right? I don't like update 3 updates a day or upload 3 updates a day in the weekend. It would be easier for me to probably record something there. But then again, I also like to work on other stuff. So I just gotta make some of those videos, but they're also not yet priority. They're not yet priority. First need to finish other stuff, really. The music is fire. Yeah, it's good, eh? Love the intro song. Random name, how you doing? Bina, welcome. Missed you this morning. Yeah, this morning, there was an update this morning on the higher time frame, the weekly. But here we are. We're live again. Leva, welcome. Hunter, what's up? Good to have you here. Afternoon, Par. Jay-Z, Flotty, Mr. Espresso. Yoshi, Dominic, Muguez, Unstoppable Vibe, how you doing? We are so close to invalidation. We hit invalidation for a wave 4, right? We hit it over here, as you can see, which is very interesting. So, that being said, let's just get into the analysis. The folders that I have here, wait a second. Oh, wait, I moved it in the wrong area. I need to put it down here. So let's get this started. 1 second. Let me check this. Okay, this is resistance. We can talk about that as well. And this was bigger. Okay. 1 second here, working on it. Let's start with this. Poof. And this. Cool. Okay. Now we're going to focus on this part of the chart. And something I shared in Discord, which I think is relevant for all of you, is why it's good to focus on parts of the chart. So I got a question this morning in gold from Sam. And he said, the chart, like in areas, looks 3 wavy, right? Do we ignore this and count it as an impulse, or how do we cope with that? So then I said over here, right, this is the reason I focus on the 1 hour time frame and the move to the downside we have at the moment. Even though the structures to the upside aren't clean, meaning the structure from 49K and 52K, right? I keep in mind the bullish CVDs on all time frames, which I'll show you in a second, right? If you don't know what I talk about. And I prefer looking at the 1 hour time frame, which is what we're going to talk about in this live stream, which gives all the info we need. If on the 1 hour time frame probabilities are higher for up or down, I'll cover that, including probabilities, because we do know the probabilities. It directly affects the higher time frames, right? Hence the reason I haven't analyzed the 4 hour time frame recently, neither the daily, by the way. So I also never analyzed the 52K move to the upside in a lot of detail, right? You've never seen me here on YouTube analyze this in a lot of detail. Of course, in the beginning, we were looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and that sort of stuff and WXY. But I never tried to count all of the sub degrees, all of this mess over here or all the lower stuff, right? I prefer to stay on a bit of a higher time frame, right? The danger, and this, here it is, right? And I see this often. With people, and I had this in the past. The danger of Elliott waves is trying to make sense of everything. So every move on the chart, right? You want to label every little move on the chart, but that's also the danger, right? That's the rabbit hole that we often talk about, right? However, one has to learn to pick the battles, right? When one time frame isn't clear, follow another time frame that does show clear structures and just keep an eye on that time frame, right? And then when in the clear time frame, for example, the 1 hour, right? When certain counts play out and probabilities play out, right? We just follow along and observe how it then affects the higher time frame, right? Because if the low time frames play out, the higher time frames will in time get better clarity. And then, yeah, you know, moves up, they can look three wavy. But yeah, this is just less relevant. Same with the daily. Not really interested too much in counting the daily time frame. There's too much going on. So I like the weekly and the 1 hour. The rest is not interesting to me. Then we have GZ posting some nice stuff here. So that I think is a good way to start the live stream, because I was there in the past. Back in the day, I was that person that tried to make sense of every little wave, but you got to pick your battles with Elliott waves, right? Else you're going to lose your mind. So go to the time frames that are easy to count, quote unquote easy. Yo, Sam, there he is. What's up, Sam? Great question this morning. Great question this morning. Umar, welcome. Parames, Bulls tried hard for the 618. They did. Sebab, Saraga, yo. Before, of course, we always have a little moment of chatting in the beginning of the live stream. Check this guy out. Check Saraga, right? This is the sports channel in Discord. This guy was riding last weekend in his city. I don't know the city though, but he drove 26 kilometers. I forgot what city you live in, Saraga. He drove 26 kilometers through the city with 50k people, and this guy was wearing the Koens cap while checking his watch because he wanted to catch the afternoon live stream. Now that is dedication, yo. Moscow, okay, Moscow. Look at you go, man, Saraga. Yo, such a legend, driving around in the Koens cap, checking his watch for the live stream. Nice. I liked what I saw. Okay. Let's start. Dejan, by the way, MT, Yuri Costa, sunny Ireland. Yeah, sunny France now as well. A little bit cloudy here, though. But okay, let's start. So on the 1 hour time frame, the bullish scenario. Let me check the timestamp, by the way. 15 minutes. Okay. Water. So on the 1 hour time frame, your bullish scenario is an impulse, right? Counted as a wave 1. 3-wave structure in 2, continuation in 3. That is, of course, most bullish. Now, wave 2 retraced to the 3A2, which is a target for a wave 2, right? Little less common than the 05 to the 786, but it is a target, no? And also, this wave C, right? I should say this wave 2 ended just after the 0.382 fib time taken from the start to the end of the move to the upside. So time-wise and price-wise, there is the chance of a finished ABC to the downside in this bullish scenario, right? A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down in a wave C. No? Now, if we go to the 15-minute time frame, inside this wave C, we then count a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That is your wave C. Now, wave C is definitely an extended structure. Take a trend-based fib from the start of A to the end of A to the end of B. And I got to toggle on the 2 here, or the 2.618 even. Right? And wave C moved to the 2.618. But it happens with wave Cs. Now it's extended, it's long. But this over here as a wave 4 fits better with this being a wave 2. Anyway, bullish scenario, ABC to the downside with the potential of it being finished, which is therefore the reason I also at least have this channel in my folders, which is again a base channel taken from the low to the high. And if you look for an ABC up, A, B, if B is in and then a C, you want C to end somewhere around the upper trend line. And if you look for an impulsive wave 3, you want to break out of the channel, right? So I already have the channel on my chart just so that I can observe what happens if price eventually moves up there, no? Now to the upside, we do have some resistance, however. We have two main areas of resistance, the golden pocket here, in confluence with the value area low, 59.5, and then the 786 with the point of control at 59.9, or arguably at 60K, right? We talk about probabilities in a second. Then we have the bearish scenario. Your most bearish scenario was initially wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 4 is invalidated because it hit the 0.618 taken from the start to the end of 3. Therefore, this scenario goes out the window, right? But before I do, I also want to talk about a variation of this scenario, which is that we count this as this. And I will explain why I do not like this. At least probabilities aren't really great. So this, of course, is a bearish scenario, right? Like quote unquote bearish, because here you're looking for a 3-wave and continuation or a 5-wave and you move to the downside, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason the probabilities aren't great to finish an impulse at the low here is because of your wave 4. If you take a fib time from the start to the end of 2 to the end of 3, toggle on the 382, you can see this wave 4 is incredibly short in time, right? It did not finish after the 382 fib time, which is by far most common for, well, by far most common for a wave 4, as most commonly a wave 4 is even longer in time than a wave 2, so longer than the 1-to-1, which obviously is not reached. So counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 looks worse than counting the move down as an A, B, and then a C with an internal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So then this is your 2, this is your 4. And if you now take a fib time from the start of 2, end of 2, and then over here, the end of your 3, then you can see that your wave 4 is about 3 times longer than your wave 2, which is nice. That's good. That fits better. It just works nicer. It's a better ratio between the waves, right? Of course, your wave C is very long, but the sub-degree count of your C does work better as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of counting this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it's better 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is just based on time with this range here. Of course, your bearish scenario is a bigger 3-wave structure, but yeah, from a probabilities perspective, probabilities are not high that this is a wave 4 matching this wave 2. And yes, wave 2 can be long and wave 2 is short, or wave 4 can be short. But the thing is, you still like its probabilities. A wave 4 not even reaching the 382 of a wave 2, it's not great probabilities. So in other words, the fact that on the 1 hour time frame a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is invalidated because we hit the 618 increases the probabilities for the bullish scenario, where you could have a low in wave 2. Or B, by the way, of course, A, B, C for a bigger triangle. But by all means, you're looking then for price to take the high. So because price here touched the 618, the probabilities increased to take out this high at a later stage. And still look for higher prices, which of course is good for the bulls. Because in your bearish scenario, right, you would now need to count this move to the downside as a finished impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is an alternative scenario because of 4. So it's not the primary, it's the alternative. Where then you look for a 3-wave structure in 2B, 5-wave move down in C or 3. And then we'll wait and see what happens there. Either you have A, B, C go back up, or 1, 2, 3 and down you go. No? In that case though, oh wait, we already hit the 618, so of course this doesn't matter anymore and this doesn't matter anymore. Cool. So yeah, now with regards to the local price action, of course, and I wrote that in Discord as well earlier to Sam this morning, and I just read it to all of you. I keep an eye on the higher time frame CVD divergences, which is what you see on my chart here. So we have this bigger bullish CVD, and I know that if you've been watching the content pretty much as price was moving down here, you know about this bullish CVD, but you also know that here it's not interesting. But the moment locally, bullish CVD, right? This happened, right? We had bullish CVD here, bullish CVD here, bullish CVD here, and now a bullish CVD here. The moment that on a lower time frame, 1 hour time frame / 4 hour, but you start to have bullish market structure with bullish CVDs, that is what kind of like activates the bigger CVD. This one becomes interesting now because of the bullish CVDs we have as price moves to the upside. The target for the bigger CVD though is 65K. Very important high for the bulls as well. And now locally with this move down, we also have bullish CVD divergences. I always prefer to look at low time frame CVDs, and we did also have some bullish CVDs as price was moving to the upside from the low. The most recent bullish CVD just played out, but here at the low we had some bullish CVDs. This here, I don't know, not too interesting, but then here we had bullish CVDs, and here you actually the indicator doesn't pick it up. But also here we had bullish CVD on blue. So you always got to train your eyes still, right? Higher low on price, but look at blue. Lower low on the CVD on blue, right? Also here, higher low in price, lower low on yellow, right? So even though you don't see the lines here, we also had bullish CVDs going on over here, and price moves up, more bullish CVDs. Price moved up, take out the high. So all the bullish CVDs locally have now played out, right? But this is something that I keep in mind because of context, right? My context is, well, if I do not see significant bearish CVDs locally and bearish market structure with bearish CVDs building, I prefer to be on the upside and look for longs instead of trying to look for shorts, right? It's like it goes against the absorption that we see with the help of CVD. And on the 1 hour time frame, the probabilities now, because of price invalidating a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are higher. This is a 3-wave ABC, and therefore probabilities are higher to still take out this high at a later stage, right? Nothing goes in a straight line, just FYI, but still. Mind you, a 3-wave structure can also still be part of a flat, can be part of a WXY, all that stuff. Depends on the move to the upside. We have the resistance here, observing the resistance that we have to the upside. Preferably, we still move up a little bit more actually to hit resistance. But observing the reaction here, these two areas, that's going to be most interesting to be honest. If you keep building bullish CVDs while hitting resistance, not really rejecting, but hit and then bullish CVDs as you move against resistance. Okay, we look for the next one, hit, maybe a rejection, bullish CVD again. You're just going to be looking for price to move up and take out the high directly. Yeah, but it's observing the price action. So so probabilities are higher. You actually got an ABC here compared to an impulse to the downside, because a bigger wave 4 is invalidated, and counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for then a bigger 1A, 2B, 3C has lower probabilities because of this being a wave 4 matching this wave 2. It's just Elliott wave ratios, really. So yeah, and then of course we had some bullish CVDs up here, so that's interesting from a trading point of view. We hit the 3A2, of course, as shown earlier over here. So it doesn't have to go lower, right? Time wise, it's fine. Price wise, it's fine. It can go lower to the 05, 786, right? But it doesn't have to, as the minimum targets are hit. I might want to make this green, by the way. So yeah. That's that from an Elliott wave point of view in combination with CVD. Now, of course, we have a little bit of news now, 2:30 p.m. Central European time. I mean, now it's already 20 minutes now. But tomorrow should be an interesting day, 2:30 p.m., 8 p.m. Might actually have 2 live streams tomorrow, because I do like I like to be live when there is some news stuff, so that we can observe the price together, the chart together, and then see what happens on the chart and how maybe counts change or probabilities play out. But yeah, this is at the moment the status. And then, of course, by the way, I should add one more thing. That over here I have 1, 2 on the chart, but of course I should not forget this. Right, it's exactly the same structure, but after C you go down again. So there we go. Okay. No. Wave 4 touching a 618, even by Kennedy, like one of the Elliott wave analysts in the world. In one of the videos of Elliott Wave International, he actually says that he has never seen a wave 4 hit the 618. Now, me neither. So there's just no chance. The moment a 618 is touched, I don't count it a wave 4 anymore, unless proven otherwise. But it's best NTT. It's a good question, but it's best. Like, you want to always try and find a higher probability Elliott wave scenarios, right? And the moment price hits a 618 and you're looking for a 4, it's best to just remove the whole impulse and either look at a finished impulse or an ABC, but another structure, right? Something else. When did I start? I think I started at 15 minutes, no? We definitely have a lot of time for chatting and Q&A, so let me have a look. Yeah, I know, right? Maybe eventually. Like Saragas, he's crazy. Huh? What a beast. With all this knowledge that you have, I think you're going to hit the jackpot and will leave YouTube soon. It's interesting that you say it, because the main question you should ask yourself is, am I on YouTube because I already hit the jackpot and I just want to help people to also hit the jackpot, right? Or would I leave YouTube after I hit the jackpot? Now, I can tell you that choice number 2 is always going to be wrong, because there is no... How can I say this? I am not the kind of person that goes sit on the beach and does fuck all. You know, I love building the community, helping people, helping them with trading plans, strategies, Elliott waves, probabilities, psychology. So you will not see me leave YouTube. by any means, unrelated to what I have, right? So yeah, you don't have to worry. But the beginning of your question might wanna think twice, of course, about it. Entity, what's up? But couldn't there be an unfinished impulse to the downside with a flat in wave 4? So in that case, of course, you're talking about 1 second, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5, right? Now we then pull from the high to the low. Ooh. Hello? Can you like take the actual low here? Wait. Okay, that is the actual. We toggle on the 618. We can leave that on the chart. Now the reason that for me a flat here doesn't have the greatest probabilities is because we got so close to the 618. We didn't touch it though. Oh wait, and there's something else that we have to check. If we do want to check a flat, we take a trend fib from that to here, and then we toggle on the 2. So let's observe. And we didn't yet pass the 2. So the 618 here would be your invalidation. And of course, you're also not allowed to hit the low of wave 1. It's just not really, I don't know, I've not really looked at the flat because of how deep the move down here is, almost hitting the 1.618. And in a flat, we would then be looking for a 5-wave structure. So in this case, you need to have a wave 1, 2. This is your 3, but you still would need a 4 and a 5, which, you know, we of course are very close to invalidation. So yeah, it's an interesting question because I didn't really consider it. We spoke about it shortly. Is there a possibility? Yes, it didn't hit the 1.618, but it got so close. I always preferred looking at the impulse 1, 2, and then looking for 3, 4, 5 instead of the flat. I never really covered the flat as well. So it's an interesting question, but yeah, I mean, keep an eye on the 618, 59.5 in that case. And of course, you do want a wave 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 most commonly longer than 2, but we're already, you know, we haven't seen a range as long as our 2 here so far, while already hugging the 618 on the chart. So that's of course interesting. What about wave 2 being a WXY with X being expanding flat? Yes, that is still a scenario. In that case, this 618 doesn't matter. But this, of course, still leads to the same price action. So what we know is the probabilities are higher to take out this high. How it does it, I don't care, right? But it just creates, as what I like to call, a directional bias, right? So yeah, you can have a finished ABC, you can have a WX, right? And in that case, by the way, this of course doesn't matter. And then you can look for a wave Y to the downside, but then you still move up after, you know what I mean? So you still look for price to take out the high, and the bias hasn't changed, right? The bias doesn't change bearish. So you're absolutely right, 100%. And that is why at the end of the analysis, I mentioned that the resistance here, that is the resistance that you want to keep an eye on. If we do look for that WXY or that move to the downside, right? WX and a Y, or if somehow this is still an impulse correction and another impulse, then these two areas here, this is your area. It has to reject here. So in other words, you need to change market structure, bearish CVDs, like the whole micmac, as we say in the Netherlands. So it's observing the reaction at these two areas. If they don't give in and you are hugging resistance with consistent bullish CVDs, continuation is expected. What's up, Bogdan? How are you doing? Good to see you once again here in the live stream, man. How is trading going, by the way? You're doing good for yourself? Bogdan, also one of the first people in Diamond back in the day, and still such a diehard. If we're doing a larger ABC, then the A wave is an ABC. that would be a flat. So if you would look for a bigger ABC, right, and your wave A Alexandra is an internal ABC, this, you need to retrace at least 90% of A, which means, you know, you go above the 886, and you're going to be looking for a flat 3-wave A. You need a 3-wave B and then a 5-wave C, right? Absolutely a scenario, but again, it doesn't change the probability taking out the high. All right, so yes, it's definitely still a valid scenario, a bigger flat, 100%. Arion, seems we're, by the way, what's up, Dutch? Mark, what's up, Dutch? What's up, Mark, maybe Band-Aid, Adam, Jeroen, everyone is here. Odin, maybe Odin is chilling in South Africa as he should. I also, I go to South Africa in October because of 2 birthdays of my wife's family. She is from South Africa. And Odin, one of the mods in Discord, he is from South Africa. So it's pretty cool. And he lives very close to where the family of my wife stays. So gotta meet up. Seems we're really close to build a triangle on a bigger time frame. Yes, a triangle is still one of the scenarios here on the daily. I know what you're talking about. Don't really look too much at the daily. I like to focus on the 1 hour. But yes, this is still something we keep in mind. And of course, in that case, we look for a 3-wave structure. However, preferably in a triangle though, you do want to see a lower, 1 second, I'm preparing, you want to see a lower wave B of D. Let me explain. So of course, in a triangle, right, 4 out of 5 waves have to be simple zigzags, and even if it's a double zigzag, your most common target is the 1 to the 1.236, which is currently above the invalidation. So in other words, if we are looking for a triangle, you want to take out the low. You need a lower retracement here. And again, we don't care if this is a flat ABC or a WXY or an ABC zigzag. It doesn't look the greatest though. But you want to move down first before getting that second leg up. If you do not move down and this is your low and instead you move up, the probabilities for the triangle go down because the most common target for C and then ABC, right, or even double zigzag, is above invalidation. So for the triangle, you need to go down. And of course, a flat is one of the scenarios, right? That's absolutely possible. WXY as well, but you gotta go down. All right, so you need to see lower prices. And to the downside, we do still have support here, 56.8 and 54.1, 54.7. If I open all of my folders, in daily naked point of control, so 54.9. Yeah, there's not too much going on here. We do have like the value area low of the range since 49k is somewhere here at around 55.8, which I just remember. I don't really want to put it on the chart, but we definitely still have support to the downside. No, we have support to the downside. Of course, undoubtedly there must be some liquidity to the downside. It just doesn't change the probabilities, and that's the thing. By the way, we hit the golden pocket 618. So it's all about the directional bias, and the directional bias at the moment is very clear, unrelated to what happens locally. That's just having a plan and having a strategy and not just FOMOing into resistance, for example, right? But the Elliott wave probabilities are clear. And of course, an ABC, right? If we look for an ABC here, an ABC can be a subwave of so many corrective structures. It can be the end and you move up impulsively, right? It can be WXY, can be a double zigzag even, WXY double zigzag. You can have a flat ABC. You don't know, right? Like the only thing is like, okay, this has a higher probability of being an ABC at the moment. And that's like, okay, check, right? Cool. And what happens next? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Probabilities are higher from an Elliott wave point of view to still take out this high at a later stage. So I am personally more interested to look for longs compared to shorts. Even if you do get a bigger corrective structure to the downside, I'm initially not interested in trading such moves unless it fits my plan, of course. But yeah, same with, of course, W, X, Y, yeah, where this is a flat. But preferably you still then have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to hit the 618 to invalidate an impulse. Oh, okay. I gotta be quick here, quicker. That's for sure. I answered this. Are we going up or down? Probabilities are higher to still take out the high. 61.5. Yeah, 60. I have here resistance as well at 61.5. It's definitely an interesting area of resistance. For sure. Why wave 4 should be longer than 2? Is it due to psychology where more people are aware of the wave 3 move? So there's more in this. This is more like a fundamental type of question, I suppose, because it's just probabilities. It's what if you learn Elliott waves and you read the book, you read the material, then it's known that wave 4 is generally longer. And yes, it has to do with fundamentals. You can wait, I don't have my book here. So you have wave personalities. You can Google this online, wave personality. Maybe it's even on the Elliott Wave International website, by the way. And you can see the personality of each wave. What does wave 1 represent from a fundamental point of view? What does wave 2 represent? Wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. And in a wave 2, the reason why most commonly a wave 2 is deep and sharp is because people think that a wave 1 is a sucker rally, right? And that then wave 2 is a continuation of the trend. So you don't really have many people interested in buying yet. People don't believe that price can move towards the upside, that price is stuck. Generally a deep retracement, right? Fear. Actually, from a fundamental perspective, in a wave 2, the fundamentals can be a lot worse than actually at the exact low, the start of wave 1. So it induces that fear, which then leads us to wave 3, where the mindset changes, right? People become positive, they become happy. Oh shit, we're going up, people buying, which is a reason for wave 4 to be less deep. Right, and you then have a wave 2 being your accumulation distribution. So your wave 2 becomes your accumulation for the people that actually are smart, and then your wave 4 starts to be your distribution, with more sideways price action. After such a big wave 3, everyone happy, everyone in profit. If you range for a long time, of course it messes with psychology as well. Right, it's indecisive indeed. People start to doubt. People get out of positions. It's messing with most people in the market. Yeah, and other than that, it's just the way it is. So I don't really. I study. I learn. I know the statistics. I just know Elliott waves, and wave 4 is just by far most commonly longer than wave 2. What's the first indication that wave 2/B is extending? Depends on the move up, which at the moment, what's the first sign? I guess if you reject it, first sign is rejecting at resistance, staying below it, see some bearish CVDs for a move towards the downside. That would be like sign 1. Before then, this has to be a 3-wave structure to the upside now, right? If this becomes a 3-wave move, like an ABC here, for example, then, we can look for lower again and get an extension in 2 or B. But you got to observe the reaction with your tools and strat at the resistance here. Slower Schulzius. Welcome. First message in the chat and immediately asking, come on guys, like. I appreciate you, man. We almost filled it last Thursday. Top of the gap, 61.8, if I remember right. 61.8. Yeah, it's interesting. I have a box here as well, no? Yeah, so Thomas, highest probabilities remain for price to take out the high at some stage. Is wave B at the 382 acceptable? Yes. Cheers, Bina. Whoa, Cheese, how you doing, man? Good to see you in the stream again. It's been a while. Also, your comment this morning was fun, man. Yeah, I appreciate it, yo. Late YouTube analogy. What's up, Cheese? My flat is now invalidated, overlap with wave 1. If you count this as the end of your wave 1, the answer is yes. If you count this as the end of wave 1, the answer is no. Because you can still have a flat here, A, B, C, W, X, Y, right? And in that case, you didn't yet reach invalidation. And the 618, I think they just missed out. Locally understandable within what structures are these options? If we look at the 4 hour, what do we have starting from 52K? Diagonal invalidation doesn't matter. Guys, I'm not interested in counting the 4 hour and the daily. I mentioned at the beginning this, and I recommend you to read this because the daily and the 4 hour do not matter. Just read why I don't do the daily and the 4 hour at the moment. Of course, generally I do, but you don't have to analyze that move up from 52K. It can be a WXY, it can be an impulse to the upside, right? Like, yeah, is it a nice impulse? No. Does it fit as a WXY? Yes. Can you count it as an impulse? Yes, right? But the thing is that move up from 52K is not important. It's not going to help you in trading up or down locally. Of course, if you're an investor, it might be interesting. But even if you're looking for long time moves like swing trades, for example, it's the 1 hour where currently you make decisions. Right? On the 4 hour, you can't like this move up. Can we count an impulse here? Sure. 1, 2, 3, sideways, 4, 5. Cool. WXY, ABC, correction, ABC. Okay, nice. But it's not where the decisions are made. This move down here is a lot more clear compared to the move up. And you got to pick your battles. In case you read my post there, I answered as well, like, people tend to try and count every time frame, every move, which is good practice, but it's not always going to help you. And of course, if you follow my content, you get a very clear idea of how I approach counting the waves, right? Can this be a 3-wave? Yes. Can it be a 5-wave? Yes. What's most important? This is most important. The weekly time frame and the 1 hour time frame are the easiest to count. The daily and the 4 hour are not easy to count. So it is much better to make decisions based on the 1 hour with the potential of it becoming a swing, right? Either up or down, depending on your plan, right? Instead of trying to count like the 4 hour, for example. So it doesn't matter. Because on the daily and the 4 hour, there's so much. Let me explain also. Let me just show why, so people actually understand. Let me show why. Okay, this is gonna go quick. Okay, here is the reason why the 4 hour and the daily is not interesting. Can we have a 1112 to the downside bear market below 15K? Yes, not invalidated. Can we have a diagonal to the downside? Yes, not invalidated. Can we have a bigger flat in an ABC? Yes, not invalidated. Can we have a WXYXZ? Yes, not invalidated. Can we have a bullish diagonal? Also not invalidated. WXY also works. Double impulse to the upside, it's not great, but sometimes it's the way it is. Not invalidated. When we talk about probabilities, 1112, low probabilities. Diagonal, low probabilities because we don't have a finished wave 4. Then we have bearish scenario here, a flat. At the moment, not great probabilities because this here counts better as a WXY. Almost touched the 07. Still an option though. But you have an expanding diagonal in 1 or A, very rare, never preferred. WXYXZ, very rare, never preferred. Diagonal to the upside, too early, not a finished wave 4. Triangle, too early, not a finished wave D. Impulse to the upside, too early, no impulsivity yet, very 3-wavy structures, wait for clarity. So which scenario has the highest probability on the daily? Someone has to tell me. Can we have two? Can I pick two? Yes. But any scenario does not look great. And that is why on the 4 hour, the only thing I cover on the 4 hour is CVD. Right? I do not count this. I do not count this. I do not count this. Can I count it? Of course, right? Of course. We can have a WXY here and another 3-wave WXY or ABC here and another WXY here. And we can just keep going with WXYs. But this is most interesting, right? That's most interesting from a trader's perspective. So the 1 hour is the time frame where we have clarity, where things make sense. And therefore, the daily and the 4 hour are avoided till the moment we actually get clarity on those time frames, which is, of course, just a matter of time. So we just continue to observe the price action here and play around with the probabilities that we know locally. 2 resistance areas to the upside. Those are the 2 areas to observe the price action. Right? And if price action does show weakness against resistance, of course, I am interested in a short. But yeah, it will take a while for me to take a trade. So those are your scenarios on the daily. But as you can see, it doesn't really get us anywhere. How about the possible triangle scenario? Too early. Another fantastic in-depth. What's up, Joe? The more I watch, the more I understand, and sometimes to the extent that I can predict how you may explain some scenarios. Cheers, Joe. Yeah, I gotta keep things more simple, so that's why also in my videos I will focus on one time frame per video. Because I noticed that so my strength is my weakness. Analytical, being very detailed, but it you know, I like to talk, but it can also make things more complex than they actually have to. So I like to focus on one time frame, which should be easier to follow for people, especially people less familiar with Elliott waves and how things work, because I tend to go in detail. So better in detail on one time frame instead of multiple. Most were super bearish and it is going back up. At least for the time being, yeah, it's a decent move to the upside. Matt Eagle, no, that is not what is said. The probabilities are higher to still take out this high, unrelated to a bigger corrective structure here. The thing is, right, and I'll repeat this. Theoretically, you could have a finished structure down here. Why? It hit the minimum target for a wave 2 or B, and the low is made after the 382. So it doesn't have to go lower. Now, of course, your common wave 2 or B target, like B382 is also common for B, but for wave 2, the 05 to the 786 is more common. But it depends on this move up. If we get that move to the downside into 05, 786, which depends on the price action here, but at the moment we just go up. And that's why I said we got to observe the resistance here, right? 59.4 to pretty much 60K. And this will decide the probabilities of looking for another leg to the downside, the yes, the no. No. I only use CVD as an indicator, which for me is the best indicator. And by the way, it's free. Link in the description. This platform, AGGR and CVD. You can use CVD without the dotted lines, of course. It's public. It's free. It's out there. And in my opinion, it's the best indicator out there. It takes a little practice, just like anything, but yeah. But can't count anything other than a double zigzag for the move from 52K, which makes it corrective. Yes, that's a possibility. Trading is going great, although I start uni in 2 weeks, so I'm trying to start trading on the higher time frames. A bit more swingy. Smart, like swing trading and then keeping an eye, Bogdan, on the lower time frames, or you don't let the lower time frames like bother you, let's say. Cheers, Lord Bra. Is it not possible that the D leg of the triangle is complete? So if we are looking for the triangle, right, then your triangle scenario, where is it? WXY, in this case, let me maybe, am I going to remove this? Yeah, I'm going to repost at a later stage. So if we pull a fib from the high to the low, you'll see the golden pocket is hit, right? The golden pocket is a target for wave D. So yes, you could have a WXY in here, label this D, put the trend line here. However, it doesn't change the probabilities. Because in this scenario, you would still take out this high. And that's currently the probability. So therefore, so this is important, right? Unrelated to the move up and the bigger structure, focusing on just this here, the probabilities at the moment are higher to at a later stage take out the high. Unrelated to having a wave E to the downside, yes or no. But the invalidation for E anyway is taking out the low at 52. Now, a move to the downside here, right, it's absolutely a possibility, which is why we look at the current resistance on the chart, which is this, right? And that's why observing this area is so important to take out the high or get another leg to the downside. And yeah, that leg to the downside can then be counted either wave E, wave 2, wave B, there's different possibilities. But that is, again, daily counting, and I very much like the 1 hour now or the weekly, because the daily and the 4 hour are a mess. Yeah. So the answer to this question here is no. Isn't the C of ABC very extended? That is correct. It hit the 2.618. So the 1 to the 1.236 is most common. 1.618 still common. 2.618 is not common, right? But it is, wave C's can be very extended. So yeah, it is sometimes therefore the way it is. Of course, your alternative. So this is the thing. This is the question I have to you, right? Would you count this an AB extended C versus a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse, where this is your 4 and this is your 2, right? With wave 4 not reaching the 382, versus a W, X, Y, with wave B not hitting the 1.618, but close to, right? So those are the like 3 options that you have. So that would be a question for you, right? This is a probabilities question. What is the best of your 4 exchanges to get your new CVD template for a Dutch guy? The CVD template, by the way, Dutch yo. The CVD template is not related to your exchange. The CVD template, as made here, right, is separate from whatever exchange you use. You can use this with any exchange because it's a separate platform, right? It's the same as you would like use ExoCharts or Atas or something. So you can use CVD with any exchange. But in the Netherlands, because you are Dutch, the one I would recommend first is Blovin. That's the one that I use myself. Yeah. What is your risk tolerance for trades? Do you ever scale up or risk more than, say, 1% a trade? Good question. I always start with 1% risk. That is just that's like automation. I just always do that. So my whole calculation is just based on 1% risk. I do scale up, but my scale up is a separate trade, right? So let me explain. What am I going to use as an example here? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we have this move to the upside. I'm going to use this as an example. Bit of a real life example as well. So of course we have a move to the upside here, right? Cool. Now, I do not scale up as price moves in my favor. I would only enter a new position based on the same rules and guidelines and whatever I use. So only if at a later stage, price shows a setup according to my plan, I just take a trade in the same direction. However, this trade has its own calculation. So this one has 1% risk, this one has 1% risk, and if I would enter another one, then again, this one has 1% risk as well. But of course, I am then managing my trades as things go along. So of course here, like, yeah, I mean, it depends. In this case, I would have already TP'd at the high. We had resistance here. So, I mean, I closed my long anyway. But let me show you an example of where I compounded. Without TPing. Cool. One second. Here there was another one. So in this example here, right? Once price started moving up here, we were looking for impulsive structures, right? Once the highs here were taken. So as price here moved in favor, took the highs, I had another setup, but I didn't TP here, but I did put my stop break even, and eventually I just managed my stop, right? And I just managed my stop to the upside. So I don't really scale up. I wouldn't call it compounding. I would call it just a new setup, like a completely new trade with another 1% risk. In wave 4, market cools off after a strong wave 3. Correct. Most commonly, wave 3 is the strongest. Is 2 shallow? 4 could be deeper. If wave 2 is deeper, wave 4 will be shallow. Yeah, rule of alternation. But still, having a wave 4 that's shorter than the 382 is very uncommon for a wave 4. What's up, Tim? How you doing? Welcome. Good to have you here, man. Aren't you working, by the way, Tim? Ludiso, I actually got that question recently. Why does Elliott Wave work? Make sure to go to Discord, check out the educational content, Elliott Waves, and have a look at the files here to see more about the data. It's also related to psychology. You will be able to find a lot of information online. Thomas, oh, Jeroen, this is fine, right? I mean, people should know that this is no financial advice. So, human emotion plus nature. Yeah, it really built himself previous channel up. Randlelwa, man, how are you doing? Yo, I can't. You popping in, yeah, like that's so cool. So Randlelwa, everyone. First of all, one of the first people to ever come across the channel and be in Discord. Second, one of the first ever Diamond members. Third, a great, very impressive, by the way, entrepreneur himself. I've had the honor of having a online conversation with Randlelwa because I asked him a few questions, and we were chatting and we were firing ideas and things, and then we decided to hop on a meeting and have a chat, and that was great. I also learned a lot from the conversation. I should write you a message with stuff that's happening, Randlelwa. How cool to see you here, man. That's awesome. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming in. And I know how busy your schedule is with all the companies and whatever stuff and that you're running. But welcome. That's really cool. Not sure if he's still here because maybe he just popped in, but I'll make sure, if you are still here, I'll make sure to write you a message after the stream, Randlelwa, man. Curious to hear how you are doing, and I'll make sure to write you a little update of stuff that we're working on. Power Meet, how are you doing? Welcome. Welcome. What tool do you use to get the fib retracement? Yes, this is the fib retracement, normal fib taken from the high to the low. So the fib retracement tool, this one. Yes. Which you can find here on the left. Good luck, Thomas. If you look, if something is according to your plan, if all your rules are like met, you got to take it. You got to take it. It's clear. The damn market maker is not letting me become a millionaire. Smart market makers. Oh, yeah. Well, the good thing is, of course, that trading wise, there's always, I mean, this sounds very classic, no? But there's always another opportunity. So the thing is, of course, that if you are not in positions or you have a week where you've been sitting in front of your PC for a couple of days and it just doesn't come, right? Your setup is just not appearing, and of course, then it's going to be a mental game where you should not be annoyed and make decisions because you just want to be in a trade, and then you're going to mess up and lose, and FOMO and greed, and so it's patience. But the 1 hour is easiest. 4 hour is tricky. The move up from 52 is a tricky move, and also from 49. There's opportunities there to count it three-waver. 3-wavy, 5-wavy, especially from 49k up, is of course higher probability 3-wave structures. 3-wave structure. I mean, we cannot easily count the move up from 49 as an impulse. But irrelevant to what that move is, I like to focus on the 1 hour as it just provides a lot more clarity. And also, I end the weekly. The weekly is easy, and the 1 hour is easy. 4 hour daily is just messy. There's many scenarios. When there is no clarity, think about Marvel. What if you have better odds? Think about Marvel. Yeah, when there's no clarity on a certain time frame, it's best to stay away and go to time frames that you do know. Like, so on this time frame, I know the count. I know what to look for, so I can trade this time frame. Let's all have a beer and chill. Yeah, I got my water. Yeah, I got my water. Crystalline, Sip it. Cheers, Matt. Tomorrow, Powell will confirm which scenario. Yeah, he's definitely... let's see what happens tomorrow. Do you consider that as a strong rejection, and is there any bearish CVD? No. So whenever, this is personal trading plan, but for me, when an area of resistance or support is hit, for me, it generally takes multiple hours before I consider a position. It takes a long time. I never try to snipe highs or lows. It's not really my style. So, of course, some people are very good in very low time frame snipes. It's just not something that I do. We don't have bearish CVDs. We do have a bit of bullish CVD here played out. So no, there's no bearish CVD at the moment. Sweet TA has been done last Sunday. Timestamp 1 hour, 9 minutes and 30 seconds in the altcoin live stream that I did. So you can, if you go to the YouTube homepage, starts to rain now. Yes. Nice to see it cool down a bit. If you go to my YouTube homepage, scroll down to the altcoin streams, latest stream. SUI was analyzed 1 hour, 9 minutes, 30 seconds into the live stream. Just here to hear Koen's voice and not music during work, and sure pushing a like. What's up, Mr. Brownbug? Yo, Mr. Brownbug, by the way, I saw in Discord the notification of you messaging me. I still have to check it though, but I'll make sure to check it out and reply, of course. Probably I'll do it at the same time when I write a message to Randlelwa. Koen, please draw a... Oh, there's a comment on a YouTube video. Koen, please draw a big diagonal line from 52.5k towards 55.5k and further. You will see we just touched the bottom side of that old support line. Okay, let's see. So if we 52.5, which I guess is the low then, towards 555, 55, which I would guess it's this. So I think this is what you're looking at, no? Yes. Nice find. And yeah, it's just another extra area of or tool of confluence, right? So you have a golden pocket here, value area high here. In this case, you have the channel that we have on the chart, right? So yeah, it's just another tool that you can use for confluence. But I don't use trend lines. So I like to use more horizontal levels, but or the fibs, and we hit the golden pocket, right? So that is of course your area of resistance here on the chart, and that is the area of interest to look for weakness. So and that is depending on people's own plan and strategy, of course. So for me to get interested into shorts, it will take hours. It will take hours, just like at the lows here. It takes hours for me to be interested. Yeah. Koen's ASMR at work sounds nice. He needs to rub the microphone more often. Yo, guys. Peggy 18 here. Koen, is it rare for the daily time frame to be hard to read? No. It's just wave 4s or corrector structures can be just very tricky, right? So the daily time frame, I mean, during the move here to the downside, it was actually easy. And as price here moved up, I mean, this is very clear. I mean, just look at how steep this is now. Those were the days back in my day. So like this is of course like this is easy to count. And then we have this move here to the upside. Now here we were looking, is this a continuation in 1-2 or not? Because the move here was quite high, but as price then here moved up with bullish CVDs as well, looking for double 1-2s. Then the intern pressed the wrong button. Never forget. And then it was, okay, you know, finish 3-wave structure. So the daily, and then of course we get this move up, and this is all relatively easy counting. And then you get this. And also here in the beginning, as price was moving down here, this was still easy. So we had a diagonal here on the chart for a very long time, even when price moved up here for the ABC structure. And that was also no problem. It's more that this was annoying because this high did not take the high here on many charts, while on some others it did. And that's where things are like, okay, so what is this now? Is this a wave 5? And do we count it a truncation? But a truncation is very rare. And that's where things are then a bit more tricky. And that's when you jump into lower time frames. And then as price moved down here, no strength, bearish CVDs all along. Also the second leg. This was again very easy impulse to the upside. Move down with continuous bearish CVDs, right? So this was a wave 1A or C. Turned out to be a C, of course, because we took the low. So it depends. Some structures in this range were easy. Some other structures are difficult to count. But that's why you got to pick your battles. And when it's not too clear, you just wait, and then price will come back to you. And once it's clear again on the daily, then you know you can potentially trade the daily again, for example. In my case, of course, I'm not really involved on such high time frames. Like swings for me is more like 4 hour ish. But my opinion is your videos are not too complicated. I've just started Elliott Waves and get everything with just a few weeks in. Props to your progress, man. Congratulations on putting the work in. I appreciate your feedback as well. I sometimes bring this topic up where is that even English? Sometimes I talk about, do I have to make things a bit more simplistic or not? So that's why I just want to cover one time frame in the videos, preferably, just to at least make it more simple that way. But of course, I do like, I also like the analytical part. Like, oh, I pulled it from here to here, and this is common target, this is rare target, this is how I pull my stuff, this is how I pulled the channel, and it makes it educational. And the people that, of course, want to learn, they'll learn. Yeah. I will continue doing this, but I do look at how can I maybe make things a bit more simplistic. And that's, for example, choosing one time frame. And also that's why I have the beginning Elliott Wave beginner playlist, of course, on my YouTube channel that I always talk about at the end of my videos. But yeah, thanks, Cosmo. It's great to hear as well. I'm happy to hear that you're doing good with studying Elliott Waves. And you probably notice the more you know, the easier it is to follow everything. Wish tomorrow news, everything will become even more interesting. I'm currently very bullish. Tomorrow will be an interesting day for sure. Yeah, curious to see what will happen. Laksha, what's up, by the way, Moo guys? You can use the right mouse click to deselect an active tool. You don't have to select the dot every time after the brush tool. Usually I just Control Z. Like I do this and then Control Z. But right mouse click to deselect an active tool. Oh, like this. Oh, wait, I see what you mean. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it saves oh, that's interesting. I never actually realized. Oh, that saves it saves a click. Or it saves movement of my wrist. You just made my wrist happier. So this is a speed fan from the low to the high. Golden pocket, always interesting. We actually didn't touch it. Can keep it in mind. Patrick, welcome. Good to have you here. Dara, why do you use no choke logarithmic charts for the longer time frames? Because you want to correct for the percentage moves. So on a low time frame like here, I mean 1 hour, right? 1% at 53 is pretty much the same as 1% at 60, right? There's not much difference in price in what 1% is, but 1% at 15k or 1% at 70k is significantly different. So when you then do measurements, it's actually best to put it on log so you correct for the percentage difference. So that you make 1% down there the same as 1% up there. That's what the log chart does. So it corrects for that that difference in percentage in price. And on the higher time frames, if you go to, like in Bitcoin at least, if you go to the weekly from 15 to 70 is a 300% increase. Now on alts, some alts on a very low time frame can pump like 200%, 300%. So in that case, even if you're on a 1 hour, you go to log. If we get rejected below 6k, what do you see as the most probable outcome? If we get rejected, potentially, so this is a if, because so if this is your high and we reject based on the question, I'm answering a question here, right? Double zigzag, WXY. Your alternative will always be an impulse, but it's just not preferred because of how short 4 is. So your alternative would be ABC. And then, of course, you have a sideways WXY. So yeah, those would be your options: ABC, WXY. An eye of the low time frame when I need clarity or a better entry. Okay, I see. Wow, I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but I love watching the footprint chart. Yeah, oh, that's low time frame. Yeah, footprint chart, a lot of information, of course. I didn't find it too easy to learn the footprint chart. I never really put too much time in it, so I guess that's related to my experience. How do you find naked point of controls, and how do you decide what your range is? You can find naked point of controls in different ways. I do recommend to watch, because I can answer this in a very long answer, but I think the best thing to do would be to go to the YouTube channel, go all the way down, educational playlist, and go to the volume profile. Let's see, was it this one? Yeah. So go to the volume profile video. But in a nutshell, you can find them with the volume profile. Just select the previous day from start to finish, and then the red point of control is your daily naked point of control because you selected the day. Alternatively, you can use an indicator. Now, I never, besides CVD, use indicators. This is just for these type of questions. You can use market sessions and volume profile by Leviathan. So if I click on it, then you get this. It's loading. 1 second. Loading. There we go. So the red line is a daily naked point of control. Below value area low, that's your low blue line. The higher blue line is the value area high. So you can use this as well. So that's market sessions and a volume profile by Leviathan, right? I don't use this myself though, because I like to use Atos. Atos is a third-party software. It's an external software that you can download for free for crypto. And once you download Atos, ATAS, more information here and good to know, by the way. So here's my templates. So Atos, that's the way you write it, Atos templates. The link to Atos is somewhere here. And here's the two templates I use: daily naked point of controls and the weekly and monthly levels. US market about to open. Exactly. So maybe some volatility here, bit of a move down after hitting the golden pocket. Do you mean any bearish scenarios? Oh, absolutely. But that's on the lower time frame, right? So that would be locally at the moment, would be a bearish scenario. But that's what we covered in the analysis. And that's why pretty much for most of the video, we keep an eye on the resistance here. Because this is your decision maker. This is the area of interest. This is where I would like to observe the reaction. Right? This is the if it rejects somewhere, be it here. Right? Don't expect the wave 4. Yeah. It works much better, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, but that 4 is invalidated. So either you count this as a finished impulse or an ABC, preferably. Yeah. This up and down makes me sick. Yeah. Welcome to Bitcoin ranging since March already. I thought that you have to use normal chart to analyze correctly because the Fibonacci's are being pulled wrong. No, they work. They work, absolutely. Especially they work because you put it on log on the higher time frames. Yeah, I'm a horrible scalper. Small time frame trader. Probabilities are much harder to calculate. Now a return question would be, why do you want to scalp? Of course, some people are good at scalping, right? It just matches their personality. But what would be your reason to scalp, right? Is it because do you have a planned strategy for scalping? Does it fit your personality? Or because those are two questions that would be good, or two answers that would be good. A negative answer would be, I can make more money scalping. Because that's a mental motivation, right? It's greed. And in that case, it's better to zoom out and go to higher time frames. So only if you have a scalping plan and a scalping strategy, of course, right? It's the same. It's good. And if it matches your personality, like if you don't have a lot of patience, if you want to be part of the action, like whatever, you don't want to sit and wait for that one perfect setup in a week, and scalping might be for you, and then develop a plan, strategy, data, statistics, and execute. But if it's because of I can earn more money, you gotta scratch your ear. So the question would be why, and see if it's mental or if it's strategy related, personality. Has been in France for 1 month, is already yeah, exactly, par. I mean, look, every day has been sunny. We had like in the first 1.5 months I'm in the south of France, I can count the rainy moments on one hand, including this one, by the way. I do like rain. I like to run in the rain. It's nice. It cools down. It cools me down. I love running as well. So it's just it's something I enjoy. Now, as price is moving to the downside here, of course, not too much. I don't want rain every day. Price moving down here, but not interested in bullish CVDs with the left side. I'm only interested in brand new bullish CVDs in this case, of course, because we hit resistance, bit of a rejection. Elliott waves is a language. Sometimes the basic understanding is all you need to help with confidence. Koens is a master of the language. I'm just trying to, besides mastering the theory, I try to communicate it as clearly and easy as I can. Elliott waves remains complex. I just try to minimize distractions by always having very clean charts in my scenarios, and try to make it as easy as I can to follow for new people. And I see the numbers. Sometimes the channel goes very quick, sometimes very slow. I mean, there's been months where in 1 month there's 1,500 new subscribers, and there's also months where there's 350 new subscribers or 200 new subscribers. So it's really, really up and down. And I never really know, and I maybe I would need to do research, but why did that month work so well? And then I look at price action as well, and I'm like, well, in those months we had like an ETF, or we had great like volatility, bull market goes up, right? Boom, from 24K to like 70K, like many more people are invested. And now we've been ranging for 6 months, like the numbers are generally just lower, but people still sub, they enjoy it. And I do it for the people that are here already, right? Like I don't really look at the numbers a lot. I never really focus on the amount of subs and all that stuff. I just want to deliver quality content and help people to learn Elliott waves. Cherry Gunter, welcome. Doing very well. I think this is also the first live stream. I'm wearing a hoodie, by the way. Murad, what respect about you do share your source as it is? If a person really interested in trading can learn just by studying them with care. I respect you from that part. Thanks, Murad. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's indeed, it's just Elliott waves as per the source, right? Elliott Wave International, you can check that out. There's a lot of information online and websites and stuff I put in the comments, which is completely free. Like, I have the beginner, the beginner, Elliott Wave beginner playlist on my YouTube channel as well. So yeah, try to help as many as I can. Are you in Discord? Cosmin. Koens out here with the hotkey usage. So proud. I learned another thing today, yo. Learned another thing. All thanks to the channel. Cheers, Cosmin. You've also been here for a while already. Are fifth wave rules the same in all subwaves? Yes. Even all time frames. Yes. We are rejecting. Yeah, there is a reaction at the golden pocket. Always important, the golden pocket. Cheers, Yoshi. Yeah. Educational playlist. More videos to come there. Tarun, welcome. How come the CVD, bear CVD on the 50-minute didn't show up on it? There was bear CVD on the yellow line, but not on the blue. Yeah, I mean, look, just like with any AI, right? It's a supportive. Let's see. I don't see bearish CVD though. But nonetheless, it is of course a instrument that supports the user, but it's not a replacement of the user. So of course you would still need to learn CVD and why do you get a divergence, which is why I have so much content about CVD as well, with the one pager, the video, templates. So even if I turn this off, right, sometimes I just like to turn it off because it cleans up the chart. And of course I use CVD for years, so I really like just reading it myself as well. But on the 15 didn't show up. I mean, there's no bearish CVD. I mean, unless you talk about bear CVD here, but that would then be 3-minute. There was bullish played out, and now we're moving down, but in this area there's no bear CVD. And if we zoom out, of course, price moving down and the CVD is moving down. So I'm not sure what where it was. Lordy bra, new subby. Yo, welcome, man. What are we at the moment? What are we at? Where are we? Let me see. I don't know how many people are here. Currently there are 13,670 subscribers. Yeah, that's incredible, guys. Last 28 days, 100k views. Yeah, it's insane. So I don't really look at my analytics very often. I guess it's 13,671. Look at you. Someone you know who you are. You pressed the button. But I don't tend to look too much at the numbers. But last 48 hours, 9,330 views. It's interesting, but I guess like if I would, which is gonna happen eventually, if I would work with a marketing company, because in the end your goal is to help more people, but that also means that if no one knows who you are, you can't help more people, right? If I want to help people to learn about Elliott waves and see the strength of what it is, right? I first need to actually have people see the channel. So in a way, forms of marketing might be interesting, but that's where the numbers become important, because then you got to analyze, okay, what's good, what's not good, where to improve, and then how to use that in a strategy. We sometimes see this. Ravindu 57166 57. Oh wait, that's even down here. 57166 over here. It's always difficult to really give a answer, because I'm not a financial advisor, so I got to be very careful with what I say in this case. However, the one thing that I can say is the following, which is based on my own experience. First of all, wait, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna say first, because there's two things. Yes, okay. So first of all, you gotta trade with money you can lose. If that position is somehow money you cannot lose, and you are in a deep drawdown, you got yourself a problem. Now you have two options, right? You stay in or you go out. It depends on your own decision. Now, what I did back in the day, because I was in that situation once, very stressful, is that if I know I made a mistake, I'd get out and I just take the L. Now, I don't know if price goes down here and you can get out and break even. You can even get out in profit if price moves down to 56, 54, 55. But who knows what price really is going to do? The only thing we know is probabilities for up or down, right? And you got to decide on, well, I'm in a losing position. I clearly, and this is my point number 2, I clearly did not have a plan. I don't have a stop loss. I have no clue what I'm doing, because that's exactly what happened, right? Because if you knew what you were doing and you had a stop loss and you had a plan, you wouldn't be asking this question. So, and that's the mistake. So now you're dealing with the consequences, which is emotion. So now the emotion is stress, fear, losing a trade, losing money. Do I need it for my house? Do I need it for my children? Do I need to pay for food? How stupid am I? Fuck, I'm, like all the thoughts are going to cross your mind. And I eventually learned, but this is a personal thing, that I better save myself the mental stress and just get out, take the L, learn my lesson, and never have it happen again. And it never happened. Now, point number 2 is risk management and having a planned strategy, which you clearly didn't have, because else you don't have to ask the question. So what you need to do before ever entering another trade, whatever you do with the current one, is know your entry level, know your invalidation. This is your most important one. Where's your stop loss? And put the stop loss in the book, right? Put it in there. And where's your TP? Right? And then based on your stop loss size, you calculate your position. How much money am I willing to lose if price hits my stop loss? That should be the question that you ask yourself. And based on that number, you will very easily be able, you can use any calculator online, but very easy be able to calculate your position size. Okay, so if I want to lose $100, I need to enter this position with X amount. That is your biggest win. That's where you can book the most progress. Risk management. Which books have you read on Elliott Waves? Elliott Wave Principle by Frost and Prechter. Why does my question doesn't come in chat? Oh, that's maybe because of the banned word list or it's YouTube. But in Discord we have a banned word list because of scammers trying to scam all of you with all of that shit. So yeah, you might use a word and then the comment doesn't appear. There will be many new subscribers when there is all-time high and hype news during this period. A lot of new people come. Yeah, probably. Will this be your first bull run with the channel? With the channel, yes. Yes. Because the channel started on the 23rd of February last year. I mean, arguably, of course, we've already had a great deal of price moving up since the 23rd. I mean, where did I start the channel? I forgot where price was. 23rd. So I started making videos somewhere here, right? 23rd, that's the first upload. So that was here. That's where I made the first upload, and then we got and then we got this. We survived. And then we got this, and now we're here. So I mean, Bitcoin has been ranging for most of my channel's existence. Yo, Matthé, waardeer het, man. Thanks. Nog een Nederlander ook. Leuk om te zien. Maar dankjewel. En ik doe het met genoeg, man. Fijn dat het waardevol is ook. The word losses is banned. Yeah, probably. Where do you think a better long entry after a pullback? Depends on your plan and strategy. Not a financial advisor. 25 out of 31 trades positive or break even. Killing it. What a guy. Exactly this. Solid trade and risk management. That is what leads to these type of results. Yesterday I thought we would crash. Today, based on the chart, I think Bitcoin is going to make higher than retest the descending line. Well, yesterday we were looking for a potential impulse down, right? With the alternative ABC here, and then wave 4 hits the 618. I think Bitcoin will make higher than retest descending line from 29 July to 25th of August. Descending line. Oh, this one. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's above price. So that's the resistance. Might be quite similar to like, what do we have? 61.5-ish. Oh, I gotta go. I see the time. Just press the button, Matej. Thanks, Matej. Cheers. I think I'll wait to retest for trade. Oh, hey, hi, Koens. Quick email needed. Welcome, man. Good to have you here again. It's all in my plan and strat. Andrew, he knows how to create a plan or a strategy. Exactly. The 6 steps. Damn stats. Yep. That's the boring part, but the most the most valuable. Yes, exactly. You got to take precautions here because we have some news tomorrow, starting at 2:30. Rule number 1: do you see the pattern that you recognize? I guess that before you can see... Wait, do you see the pattern you recognize? That's an interesting sentence because if you recognize it, you see it. You know what I mean? But yeah, Elliott waves all starts with knowing the theory, and then by implementation, your brain will be able to see it eventually. Yeah? It's repetition. How do you manage fear and greed while trading? Read the book, Mental Game of Trading. Link in the description. Yes, it's an affiliate link. No, it doesn't work, unfortunately, for me. Because I don't know how to set that stuff up. I just somehow always feel... I always feel with this stuff. Let me actually see what happened. Yeah. Hi, guys, I don't get it. Let me show you a screenshot. I don't know why it doesn't work, but you know. Yeah. I mean, you tell me. I'm a complete noob. So, anyway, Mental Game of Trading will give you a lot of insight into how to cope with your mental game, right? Which I recommend. How do I manage it? It's a combination of experience, and I've also worked on certain mental aspects of trading, like greed and closing trades early, fear, other stuff. Yeah. So, but I recommend to read it and implement it because it's a system. You got to work on it. Biljamin, welcome. Ik glaube auch, wir gehen runter, aber erst ab 59.6 bis 60k. Yeah, there is definitely some resistance to the upside. So yeah, correct. And it can still fall and move to the support below. So that's why this area here is the most interesting area on the chart at the moment. That's this resistance. 59.180. If I'm looking on the 4-hour chart, I do see an impulse from 15k. And then another impulse from 10.3 to 14.04. Yes, these are the two sharp moves up. Yeah, so it's move up, range between 30 and 24, and then a move up to 70, and now range again. Do we have a 1-2-1-2 setup right here? No, I'm not looking at a multi 1-2 at the moment here. It would be, in the most bullish scenario, I would look for a single one here and a single 2. Of course, if you count this as an impulse, it's a 1 2 1 2, but I don't like to count this as an impulse. This one has more potential than the move of 49. So I'm not I don't really look at the daily. I don't include this. I only focus really on the 1 hour now. I do analyze any time frame, but you got to pick your battles, and the daily is a mess, and the 4 hour as well, especially the move from 49. It looks very 3-wavy, but we do have bullish CVDs everywhere, so got to keep it in mind. But yo, guys, gotta go. Gotta go. Thanks for hanging out. I gotta say, man, when I look at myself, when I shave my beard, which I did last night, my baby face returns. Maybe I gotta leave a little next time. Thanks everyone for being here tonight. We will have another update, so let's see where price is tonight, Central European time. Tomorrow I will be live as well, same time, 2:30 p.m. Central European time, because we do have news tomorrow. In case you do not know, this is what we got going on. I'll probably be live in the evening as well, starting at 8, so that we can observe what happens in both of the cases. But let's first see what happens tomorrow afternoon, shall we? So, if you enjoyed, make sure to subby and likey, whatever. And I'll make sure to see you next time. Trade safe, right? We are approaching an interesting day tomorrow as well. Have a plan, have a strat. Mark, maybe a Band-Aid, Odin, Jeroen. Thanks for hanging out and modding. And I will see you very soon again. Oh, and thank you, Adam, as well, by the way. Lol.